All right. Hi, guys. My goodness, look at my screen doing all kinds of funny stuff. And it wasn't doing that before, y'all. Can't believe it. Can't do anything right around here. I'm telling you, just a bunch of yahoos. Y'all see that? My green screen all messed up. All right. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell y'all to tell me where you are from in the chat because I really like to know. Let's see if we can get this fixed here so we don't look so unprofessional. There we go. That's a little better there. All right. Now, so tell me in the chat where you're from. Georgia, Oklahoma, Idaho. Lots of Georgia. Hey, Lika, Indiana. Hi, June. Texas, Ohio, Indiana, more Texas, Idaho. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Julie. So, okay, man, everybody is coming in from all over the place, and I'm so excited about tonight. But first, you know, we always log on a little bit early because we got some business to take care of, and that is the VIP attendees. You see, I've already got it packaged up, ready to be met. I've even got the weight on there because I am ready to mail this sucker out, y'all. All right, so this is VIP attendees from last month. So if you were on the National Virtual Gathering last month, which we did about rainwater harvesting, then you are in the drawing for this. So let me just remind you what you're getting. You're getting this cute little Garden of Whedon sign. Oh, isn't it cute? Everybody needs that in their garden because every garden is the Garden of Whedon. 2 packs. There's another one in here of these plant tags. There's a horrible glare. I'm sorry. Pro tip on these, use a silver Sharpie. Even the extreme black Sharpies will fade, but it's something about the silver ink and the silver Sharpies. I know it sounds crazy. The gold isn't even the same. Has to be silver. 2 packs of these. We got a Harris Farmer's Almanac, whose color is obviously green because you can see my background there in the words. And then I've got this whole passel of seeds. Cantaloupes, what is that? I don't even know. Cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, peas, all kind of stuff. Okay, so let's get that wheel of names up and going. I'm going to share my screen. Going to make sure there's sound because everybody likes that little click, click, and the yay at the end. And you see, this is March VIP attendees. So if you attended last month, your name is on this wheel. Good luck, VIP members. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. And dun, 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 Jeannie, Rich, let me write that so that I don't forget. All right, Jeannie. And just so you guys know, this is why we are now asking for your address on the registration page. That doesn't go into any kind of a database. I hope you know by now, if you've been attending these for a while, that we don't send you emails other than your reminder and follow-up emails specific to the gatherings. We're not using, you know, using those for anything else. So the address that you put in there is only used if you win a giveaway. So please don't hesitate to put your address in there because that really makes it so much easier for me to be able to send out. Because let me tell you, December was a nightmare. So this is going to help. It's going to make it my job a little bit easier. So that is why we asked for that. It is 8:01. Welcome officially to the April National Ladies Homestead Gathering virtual gathering. It's a lot of gathering, but we like to gather. Laura, yes, yours is in the mail. Went out yesterday. I just got your address from Tony. So that's what I'm saying. It was a nightmare without addresses. That's why we put that on the registration page because it was a nightmare. So where was I? Yes, welcoming. Welcome to you. Tonight's topic is rabbits, raising rabbits, specifically meat rabbits for sustainable protein on your farm. We've got a great speaker. You'll meet her in a little bit. But I just want to really thank you for being here. I'm so excited to see so many people right now. We've got 48 here, and that number will continue to grow because people come in and come in and come in. And I'm just so super excited to see how these gatherings have just become it just amazes me every month. And I feel so lucky to get to be a part of them. At the end of the gathering, we actually have a second Zoom call, and it's more of a traditional Zoom call where you will see everybody. This is technically a webinar format. You'll only see us presenters, and we can't see you. We can only see your chat. And we can see your names, but we can't actually see your faces. And so at the end of the gathering, we have a second Zoom call, and that's a traditional one that you're used to where you can see everybody. And we break out into breakout rooms by region. And the reason that we do it that way is because not seed saving, but gardening, even raising rabbits is going to be different in South Carolina where I am, or Georgia, where Brooke, our speaker, is, and in Washington State, because the climates are different. There may be some things different, with rabbits. Like tonight's topic, there may be a particular breed of rabbit that does better in Washington because of the colder weather that would not do so well here in the South. Or with gardening, obviously our growing season is extremely different from the Northeast or the Northwest or the Midwest even. So that's why we break out by regions afterwards, so that you can talk to people in your region and really get to talk locally. And so at the end, we'll give you that link, and you can go to those breakout rooms. And Jessie, we call Jessie's the bouncer. And that's not because she's mean, but she stands at the door. And so if you get to the breakout room and you've been there before, then Jessie will just let you do your thing. If you've never been there before, go to the link. Jessie will be in that main room. And if you need help getting to your region, that's what she's there for. She's going to help get you into your room and get you where you need to go. And then with tonight, yes, so in the breakout rooms, each breakout room has its own moderator. And I just want to shout out to our moderators, Judy Winkleman, Julie Bowen, Cindy Ball, Miranda Johnson. I don't think I left anybody out. Those are our moderators for tonight. Jessie, if I left somebody out, let me know. But you guys are awesome. We cannot have breakout rooms without our moderators, because they're the ones that just keep the conversation going. They're not really in charge of anything. They just help the conversation flow. If there's a lull, they kind of give it a softball to get it going again. And we couldn't do it without them, because Jessie can't be in every room. I can't be in every room. Cindy can't be in every room. Our speaker can't be in every room all at the same time. So, you moderators, you make it happen. We love you, and we couldn't do it without you. And tonight during the presentation, if you have questions, lots of stuff goes on in the chat during these presentations, and that's great. We love that, and we encourage that. If you've got something you want to put in the chat, put it there. But if you have a question for the moderator and you want to make sure it gets answered, the best way to make sure that happens is down at the bottom of your screen. You should see a Q&A button. There's a button that says literally Q&A. You put your questions there, and that keeps them all nice and tidy. And we're not trying to scroll through all those. I mean, y'all, sometimes the comments just get crazy. So chat it up in the chat. If you've got a question, put it in the Q&A, and that will help make sure that Brooke can address those, or we can make sure that Brooke knows that they're there during the Q&A time before she gets done tonight. So, Whew, with all that being said, Cindy Ball, would you like to make me be quiet for a minute?
Never. Yes, I will get on here. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming on to our virtual gathering. I am coming to you from Montana. From the last time to this time, I have driven cross country and am back at the ranch and back in my cute little 200 square foot cabin, and excited to be here with you all tonight. And just a reminder, hey, June. Just a reminder to everybody, the reason that LHG exists or NLHG exists is to empower women through homesteading. Those of you that are on social media, I'm sure you have seen the huge influx of people who have gotten into homesteading, and we are so excited. We are coming into almost 10 official years of the National Ladies Homestead Gathering. And so pretty excited that we are here to serve the women who are just starting out with their homesteading journey. And then our mission, how we help these women by empowering them, is through sharing knowledge and building community and growing friendships. And so this, for those of you who don't have a local chapter in your area, this gives you a taste of what your local chapters are like. And if you ever are wanting to start a chapter, we are here to help you make that happen. You just need to go to our website and it says start a chapter. Start there and we will handhold the rest of the way to get you started. For our VIP members, I have two announcements. We are so excited. Next month, after our May virtual gathering, we will be opening up registration for 3 new book clubs. And we're going to be marketing, sending out emails, letting you know what those are. But I just wanted to give you a heads up that make sure you get on here next month so you know exactly when registration opens, especially if you're very, very interested in one of the topics that we're going to be doing. And then also for our VIP members, this week we will be uploading several courses on our website just for you. And there's some really great topics that are going to be uploaded. And if you are a VIP member, those are free to you. So anyways, just wanted you to know some of the perks that we've been working on for you. So I'm going to pass the buck now on to Miranda, who is going to share with us one of my favorite parts about these gatherings, and that is our Attagirl.
Hi, ladies. So this is my favorite part of the gathering too, Cindy. I love our Attagirls. Attagirls are where we get to share what we've been working on the past month and what we've accomplished and what we've taken on and maybe not even succeeded. In my case, I don't succeed all the time, but I still love to share that I tried, and that's an accomplishment within itself. So ladies, I'm going to read Attagirls that were submitted over at community.nlhg.org, which is our private community. And if you get a chance, pop on there. You can still submit your Attagirls for the month. Super excited to read these. And I'm inspired by every single one of these that I see come across this post. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Rosemary Woodall says she planted 11 native bushes for pollinators. She said yesterday her 90-year-old friend helped her dig holes. Attagirl to both of you. We have Esther Arkfeld said she started the first batch of meat birds for the year, completely changed the plan for their homestead, which meant drawing up plans for their barn and getting quotes to do the work. This also meant putting up some of their Dexter cows for sale. She said it's bittersweet, but because it's what got her started with cows, but she's excited to be working on her business plan. And she finally registered her business as an LLC. So Attagirl, Esther. Serena Huff said, it's hard to believe that March is already gone. She accomplished a lot last month. She led her first LHG workshop, Attagirl, made her first batch of bread and pizza dough that weren't sourdough. And she got rid of a lot of clutter and started a new garden bed by hand, no tiller. So fantastic. Ashley Reed shared that they prepped their garden areas, planted peas, made communion bread for church, made homemade bread for the first time, and have extra eggs that they can sell again. Atta girl. Brittany Hurd shared that they have completed their water filtration system to source mountain water. That is so exciting. And I actually, Brittany, you have to share how that goes. Keep us updated on how that's going. We have Judy Winkleman said that she did the first season mowing of just a little less than 10 acres by herself. She says that it may not seem like a very big deal, but it has very steep hills and several obstacles like fruit trees, grapevines, berry bushes, a chicken coop, and a rock wall, and required a push mower. So Judy, not a small accomplishment at all. I think it's a very big deal. Atta girl to you. We also have Jenna Bell, who said she potted up all of her starts and she's kept most of them alive. That's the tricky part. She says she pulled up the last of her collards and got 3-gallon size bags for the freezer. She says she was able to harvest another gallon bag of kale too. That is fantastic. I love these. If you haven't checked these out yet, you really should pop on and read them. Sophia Rose said 2 of her does gave birth for a total of 17 bunnies. She repotted some houseplants, reorganized her studio, and lots of cooking as her daughter and son-in-law are visiting right now. So such an exciting thing to have new baby bunnies and the kids at home. We've got Trina Reynolds. She said she started a flower cutting business, so she has hundreds of baby plants growing in the basement. And Molly Yoder, this will be our final one for tonight, said she successfully started pepper plants, tomatoes, and cucumbers from seed in the house. So thank you, ladies, for sharing these. We really appreciate it, and atta girl to everybody.
Atta girl, atta girl, atta girl. All right, Cindy, there is a question about the book club and the Q&A. Would you like to answer that?
Sure. What is it?
Any details on the book club? Why 3? Is it only for members? And any other details you have?
Sure. So our book club, we started this, I think 2 months ago. We currently have one in progress. So it's kind of our pilot program. And the one that we're doing now is food preservation. And it's been going fantastic. I'm actually a part of that one. And so it's a weekly meeting based on a specific book that one of our VIP members has an interest in and wants to teach. So next month, we are doing 3, we're putting out 3 more. We're hoping to every month add more and more to our book club, but it depends on how many people are interested in teaching. If you are a VIP member, it is free to you to sign up for our book club. If you are not a VIP member, it is $40 to join that book club. And then that also you would need to buy the book that goes with it. The books that are being chosen, we're reaching out to the publishers to see if we can't get a discount on the books. I've gotten a couple publication houses that are giving us discounts, and so we will let you know about that. So that's basically what it is. We will be sending out a mass email. So if you're not on our newsletter list, go to our website and sign up for the newsletter, because all the information will be going out to everybody who is involved with the National Ladies Homestead Gathering. So hopefully that answered all the questions.
And we are also looking for a book club coordinator.
Yes, thank you.
So if you are interested in getting involved a little bit more, and you think you would like to be involved in that side of it, shoot us an email at media@nlhg.org. Jessie just threw that in the chat for you because she's awesome.
Thanks,
All
ladies.
right. So before we get to the main event tonight, I have a poll for you. We started doing polls last month. We did one on acreage, and we have got a new one, and it's about what kind of animals do you have on your homestead. So you should see a poll have popped up there on your screen. You can choose multiple answers if you want to. If you're choosing other, throw it in the chat for me and let me know what you have that's other than those animals that we listed there. Oh, rabbits. I should have put rabbits on there. Ah, bees. Okay. All right. Getting bees next week. I like it. Rabbits and geese, turkeys, donkeys. I like it. Wild cottontails, turkeys. All right. I'm going to give 5 more seconds to complete the poll. If you guys haven't completed the poll, then go ahead and do that for me. Just a few more seconds. Got 65% of you have answered. See if we can get on up a little bit more. Come on, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm ending the poll. And just because I know everybody's curious, here are your results. Lots of people have chickens. We've got coming in second is other, because I forgot to list all those. But then we've got ducks coming in there pretty high, goats, cows, pigs. Everybody's got everything, and that's great, you guys. So excited about that. So thank you for answering that for us. Now, on to tonight's main event. We have got Brooke Lewis Slimkova. Hope I'm pronouncing, is that right? Okay, close enough. Okay. She has a rabbitry in Georgia. Well, she has a homestead. It's not just a rabbitry, but Maple Park Homestead. If you saw her intro video, she showed us a little bit of her homestead. They have been so creative in the use of the land that they have. And they just do a great job with using every square inch of the land that they have. But one thing that they do super duper duper well, among all the other things, is rabbits. They do meat rabbits. And if you're in the Southeast and are interested and it's something you want to get into, and I'm sure she'll tell us more about this too, they do a rabbit processing class. And I can tell you firsthand, because I have gone and taken the class, it is phenomenal. It is hands-on. It's not just a book class, but you actually do the processing right there. So I'm sure she'll tell us more about that, more about her homestead. So I'm going to be quiet so she can get going. Brooke, take it away and tell us all about rabbits.
Well, hello, everybody. I am Brooke Lewis Slimkova. I have been homesteading for, if Cindy's been doing LHG for 10 years, I've been homesteading for, I think, 9 of those. And we have been very lucky when she was in Georgia to get to mentor under her for a lot of our, at least getting started. And my husband worked with her and learned all about beekeeping, which he absolutely loves. Jessica, can you throw up the PowerPoint for me? Ginger, do you know if she's going to get the PowerPoint up for me?
Yep, I'm working on it now.
Okay, awesome. So just kind of a little backstory. We did get started basically with bees and chickens, which I always say is the gateway farm animal. And then one of my daughters just begged, and when I say begged, I mean begged for rabbits. And I was like, look, we're not putting anything on this farm that's not like bringing in money or bringing us meat or bringing us something to eat. And so I buckled, and I happened to get a breeding pair, which for you guys who are not into rabbits, understand a breeding pair is 3. You usually get 2 does and a buck, and they're the wording is very similar, almost completely to goats. So it's a kidding, it's does and bucks, it's all that kind of stuff. So there are two main reasons to get rabbits. The first one is fiber, and the second one is meat. I don't do fiber, but I can share a little bit with you about it as we're going through, because the care and the maintenance of the rabbits is very similar. So we'll go to the next one. So all rabbits generally have the basic needs: food, water, shelter. If you'll go ahead and go to the next one for me. The housing can look very, very different, okay? I've seen hutches that are like mansions, and I've seen people who put their rabbits out there on like to free range. I will tell you that does not work for me personally, because with our rabbits, we have a lot of predators. And I think that's probably the same for most of you. I mean, I've yet to hear of a homestead that's like, oh, we don't have any predators at all. I will tell you, there are kind of two houses. There are either the wood floor or the solid floor or the wire bottom. And so the issue with wire bottoms, from the research that I did, they're way cleaner, but a lot of the rabbits will have issues with their feet because of the wire. There are some people who do both. There are some people who do hanging ones. We do a hardwood floor, and ours are stacked, and we do a front and back of house, and so we can actually divide our 20 or our 16 hutches in half to actually give us 32 different areas, which comes in handy later, which I'll talk to you about. So let's go to the next one. So these are some beautiful American blue rabbits. The one on the left is American blue. The one on the right is silver fox, but it doesn't look very silvery right now. We'll go to the next one. So this is our one of my setups. So you can see that this one has 8 total houses, but each one of those actually has a door in the back, and we separate it because you'll also need a nesting box or a kindling box. And you can see that we use very standard waterers and feeders that you can get at any Tractor Supply or feed store or whatever. If you live in cold climates, I will say that there are a few nights a year in Georgia that we have to bring all the waterers in, put them by the heater, and then in the morning take them all back out. And if it stays cold throughout the day, we have to bring them back in. There are continuous waterers, there's continuous feeders, there's all different kinds of options. So you kind of have to do what works best for you. So let's go to the next one. Okay, so there are a few food choices to go with. The easiest for me is the pellets. They are easy to get. They are hard to source organically, so that can be a negative. It's great for overall health because they are formulated specifically for rabbits. Hay, Timothy, or other hays, rabbits love them, but it's hard for them to get all of their nutrition just using Timothy or some other kind of hays. You can free range or provide fresh garden. Our rabbits get a lot of fresh stuff, we call it, just stuff that we've pulled out of the garden. Maybe things like right now, if you're trying to get rid of your collards and you've been eating collards all winter and you don't really are not super excited, the rabbits love them. A couple of things to be mindful of is that lettuce, cabbages, beans, chocolate, high-fat foods, nightshade leaves, and bulbs are not the best. Lettuces tend to be too much water, not enough nutrition, and so it can cause some gastrointestinal issues. Same with, I haven't had as much issue with cabbage, but lettuce can be an issue. And you probably want to provide mineral blocks, especially if you're kidding, or if they're kidding, and then of course access to water. The next one, please. All right, so some other possible needs. So I talked about nesting boxes. Rabbits, their gestation period is 31 days, pretty much on the dot. When you put them with the buck, you can go ahead and put it on your calendar. Make sure you don't go calendar days, like literally count out 31 days. until they're doing their kindling or their fluffle. A nesting box is where they're going to want to give birth. And so much like pigs and dogs and lots of other animals, they have places that they prefer. It's literally a box with like a little hole for them to get in. It's super easy. We've built that into our hutches, so we don't have individual ones, but if you are going to use nesting boxes, you're going to want to place them in about a week ahead of time, just so they can start packing it. Some grooming supplies, combs, shears, especially if you're doing fiber rabbits. Nail clippers are a must. We found that the dog nail clippers are really helpful. If you're going to take your animals out, you want leashes, toys, scoops, crates for transport always. I feel like on a homestead, you can never have enough like travel crates. Mineral vegetable oil, and essential oils for ear mites, which we've had some issue with. And then also there's a thing called a hopper popper or some other means of dispatch if you're going to be processing your rabbits on your own. But each family will have its own needs based on the breed of rabbit, on the purpose of the rabbit. And so you just want to kind of take a look at what your family is going to need. I'm all about work smarter, not harder. So having a system and having like all of your stuff together, we have a half-gallon mason jar and it's got all of our rabbit care stuff in it. So anytime we need something, we say we get the rabbit jar and we have it ready to go because you're never sure when you're going to need something. Okay, next one. So ideas are like rabbits. You get a couple and you learn how to handle them, and then pretty soon you'll have a dozen. That is completely true with rabbits. You get 3, and then if you're like me, the first 2 girls that have babies, one had 11 and one had 8. Then you add that to the 3 that we already had, and we didn't have enough room to separate them. So also understand that your space needs to be able to grow with you. And so I just love that quote. We'll go to the next one for me. So fiber rabbits. This is the glorious cheese puff. If you lived in the Southeast and you know Jenny Bewley, this was her beautiful Angora Bunny. They are bred for their fur. Just so you know, there are 2 types. There's French and German Angoras. There are others that are bred for their fur too. Those are just the most popular. They have to be either sheared or plucked about every 4 months. And they can have digestive issues due to their fur ingestion when they're cleaning their fur. And so fiber rabbits, especially if you already are a fiber artist, might be a wonderful addition to your homestead. If you have fiber rabbits, you don't necessarily have to breed them because your one rabbit will give you fur, every, 3 times a year. So you can kind of think about that. Let's go to the next slide. So a couple of benefits. If you're one of those people who says rabbits are so cute, they're so fluffy, and I could never butcher one, a fiber rabbit might be an option for you. They are super fluffy, and they're truly the little fluff balls that you think they are. And they still will provide your homestead with lots of rabbit poop. It's perfect for direct composting. I will say that my extension agent has warned me about saying that. But all the research that I've done, as long as you were not eating the things that are in the ground. So like I wouldn't put my beets directly in fresh rabbit manure, but like anything that's growing and not touching the ground is perfectly acceptable to put in your garden directly. And then also depending on the breed, you'll need to have a way and an understanding of how to shear and or pluck your rabbit. Next slide. So meat rabbits. Meat rabbits are my babies. They can be used for meat. By the way, any rabbit can be used for meat. I don't care if it's a small rabbit that's wild out in your yard or a huge Flemish giant. All of them can be used for meat. I will say that some have better meat to bone ratio. So going into it, kind of knowing what you're wanting. This right here in the picture is a silver fox. These were almost, they were in the endangered category in the late 90s. They were started in the late 1800s for their coat to mimic the silver fox, which was very popular out in the Pacific, like California, Washington, Oregon. And so these became very, very popular because they were dual purpose. So I will tell you, a lot of people say, well, what do they taste like? If you've never eaten a rabbit, I call it a sweet chicken. It's a very mild, very, very mild flavored meat. It weighs out similarly to like a broiler or a hen. And so you can use that. I will tell you that wild rabbits are going to be a little tougher. I mean, if you think about how their muscles are running around in quick bursts, whereas my meat rabbits are living in the lap of luxury and don't have to go very far to get anything. And so my meat, even on our older rabbits, are very, very tender. So all that being said, they are delicious, and Ginger will tell you that they're delicious. So if you want to go to the next slide for me. So what are some of the benefits? Okay, so some of you, I'm assuming, are new homesteaders. Maybe you're urban homesteaders. Maybe you're living in an HOA or in a county that doesn't allow livestock. Well, most rabbits are exempt from livestock regulations. Most. Like, you want to check your county rules, but they take up relatively little space. They provide a lot of meat for the food they consume. There's quick maturity rates. So we found that our rabbits mature approximately at the same rate as our meat birds. So they're processed between 8 and 16 weeks. I will say that ours are usually 12 to 16 because we leave the babies with the mom the first 8 weeks. But depending on the size of the litter. And then the rabbit poop is perfect for your garden. So it's kind of like a win-win-win situation for me with meat rabbits. We'll go to the next slide. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty. How do you make more babies? Timing is everything in rabbits. Okay, so we have found in the South, so I want to make sure that this is very region specific, that the August to April, we breed only August to April, because April to August, we find that the fly strike, which is where the flies lay their eggs in the umbilicus, is a huge issue. I also do believe in giving animals time to recover, especially if they've been bred several times in a row. That we've just had much better luck not trying to push that. I mean, there are people who will breed their does every 8 weeks. And we don't do that. We like to give them a little bit of a break. When you introduce the male to the female, you always want to do it not in the female's territory. The females are highly territorial. And so you want to make sure you bring the female to the male or have a neutral zone for them to go into. And you want to watch, and the male will literally fall off the female. When I say fall off, you're going to think it has died, and it is going to fall on the ground, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I just killed my male. And he'll get take him a few seconds, and he'll jump up, shake it off, and then he's going to be following her around. After you see that happen 3 times, you can also do that, see it happen 3 times, wait 6 hours, and let him do it again. If you want to make sure that it sticks. You don't want to wait any longer than 12 hours because that'll put them possibly, it's kind of like getting pregnant 2 different times very close together. And so then some of them might not be ready to be born when the first ones are ready to be born. So you want to make sure you do it the same day, 12 hours tops. Then you mark your calendar, 31 days. And then 7 days before that, you can put in the nesting box. You want to check the baby bunnies every day for weight gain. If you notice that there's one that's just not gaining weight, there's a few things you can do about that. But you do want to check them every day. And it's so fun. It's so fun to check on the babies. Go ahead and go to the next slide for me. Okay, so do we have a boy or do we have a girl? This is like the hardest thing to do in rabbits, is to actually sex them. So there's a way, and there's all kinds of YouTube videos if you just watch them, where you actually pull the tail back while you're also putting pressure right in front of the genitals. The boys will look like a cylinder, where the girls will look more like a pyramid or like a taco. So take it for what it is. I would watch lots of videos. And it's really hard to sex them before they're about 8 weeks anyway. So I would definitely recommend getting some hands-on training before you actually get your rabbits. I can't tell you how many times that we've heard, oh, but I was told they were both girls. And then 31 days later, their baby's on the ground and the male's eating the babies, so just so you know, like make sure you check them properly. All right, the next slide. So this was a mix of a fiber rabbit and a meat rabbit. I will say that the fiber did not turn out as well, which I kind of knew that was going to happen, but the meat rabbits were huge. So you can crossbreed and you can inline breed, which means you can breed like father to baby, mother to baby, siblings to each other, as long as there's no genetic deformity. You can breed them. But if there's anything wonky, like you would just want to cull that one. You wouldn't want to keep that in your breeding stock anyway. All right, next one. All right, so some other things that a lot of people forget about when they are starting a homestead business specifically is that your rabbit should be making you money or filling your freezer every day. So you should be making money from your fiber or making your yarn or doing dyes. The pelts can be sold or used. They are absolutely the softest thing ever. You can make feet into keychains. It's super easy. It's crazy easy how you can do that. You can actually sell the poop by the pound, which I found amazing. I've had people come and say, I will buy a 5-gallon bucket from you. I'm like, okay, bring your bucket. You can save money on your own fertilizer. You can sell the babies as pets. You can stud your male out for stud fees. Of course, this is going to save you on your budget, and you can sell the meat. So in the state of Georgia, this is like crazy how the poultry industry has kind of skewed things in the state of Georgia. In the state of Georgia, you can process 1,000 chickens on your homestead before you have to go to a USDA processor. With rabbits, you can process 2,500 rabbits from your homestead before you are considered like a big processor. So it's kind of a great kind of loophole, if you will, for small-time homesteaders that aren't trying to like bust into the poultry industry. You gonna go to the next one for me? Okay, so some common bunny behaviors. This is not super clear, but bunnies do really, really funny things. They do little things called the binky jump. When they get excited, they nibble, they groom, they play, they nibble you, they groom you, and they'll follow you around. Every bunny has its own temperament and its own preferences. And if the temperament is not nice, it goes to freezer camp. So just kind of be aware of that. I would also, when you're purchasing a rabbit, ask how many times they've handled them. Our rabbits get handled all the time. Our kids are going out and putting them in baskets and bringing them in the house and playing with them. When we bought our first breeding pair, I swear to you, it was like razor blades with fur that were super cute. And every time you try to get next to them, you would just get shredded. My poor daughter was like in tears the first 2 weeks, but she was like hell-bent on getting them tamed, and she did, and they became wonderful breeders and they were wonderful rabbits. But that first month, I would have put them in a pot 10 times over. So get to know their temperaments, and if you can get them young, a lot of times that's better because they get to bond with you, and so you have less issues. All right, let's go to the next one. So this is kind of like a rule to think about. Rabbits, they do breed like rabbits. Sometimes you will have large litters, like a litter of 10 or 12, and sometimes you're going to have a small litter of 1 or 2. If you have large litters, just know that they're going to take more time to mature because they're fighting for milk. Whereas when there's only 3 of them, They have all different kinds of teats to go to and lots of milk at their disposal. And they're not having to fight other bigger bunnies for a mom, time at mom. So just kind of understand that. Also, we like to breed we'd like to breed 2 females on the same day. And the reason is we've had a couple of issues where one mom might have 10 and another mom might have 2. And the 2 have a really hard time staying warm, especially if it's during the winter months, which is when we typically breed ours. So we have, when they're born on the same day, you can kind of do a switcheroo and move some into the other litter. The other mom doesn't usually have any issues with that at all. So it's something to kind of think about in your planning process. Let's go to the next one. All right, so here are just some really helpful websites. How to determine the sex, how to dispatch, which means how to butcher, and then when to line breed and when not to line breed. And so that there's just some really good, useful information. If you want to turn my camera on for just a second, I have 2 baby bunnies here with me. They are super wonderful. I don't know, can you see them? So you can see there's 2 little bunnies here. These are the silver fox, which is the one that we've had the most success with. The American blues have been really good. The American whites are a little more finicky. I find that white fur in general isn't as thick and not as protective. Don't you just love baby bunnies? Like, you have to love them. So I'm going to answer this question really quickly. It says, how do you find local laws on processing meat rabbits for resale? I'm in Tennessee, and I've called our local extension agent, the FDA, the USDA, and they keep sending me in circles. Okay, so this, I can tell you, I have had to learn legalese and how to navigate websites. It should be on the USDA website for your state. So we have the Georgia USDA. You should have the Tennessee USDA. And they have the state-by-state laws on each poultry item. So the easiest way to do that, or each livestock item, the easiest way to do that is go into their system. It's usually a huge long document, but if you hit Control F on your computer and type in the word rabbit, it will pull up every time the word rabbit shows up in that document, and that should take you there. You can also join some rabbit forums. A lot of times the people on the rabbit forum are super helpful in getting that information to you. So Renee, let me know if that was helpful and if I need to go any further on that. Gareth asked, do you supplement with light during the winter months after the fall equinox? I've heard that rabbits won't be successful if they don't have enough daylight. We've never had that issue, but we keep our rabbits outdoors. So if you're keeping them indoors specifically in the winter, I would think that you might need to do that, but we have never had that. But we also don't light our chickens either. So I don't know if it's we get enough light or if I'm just okay. Like, I don't know how to answer that question, but I don't like my rabbits. So, all right. What other questions can I answer for you? What hindrances or maybe concerns do you have? If you want to put them in the Q&A, that would be awesome. I will tell you that my farm does do a 2-day extensive rabbit workshop. And so it's actually coming up April 16th and 17th, which I know is Easter weekend, but we literally had no other weekend available. It is, like I said, 2-day immersive. We do 2 rabbit lunches, so you get to taste the rabbit. And then you also, on day 1 in the morning, you learn all about care, how to handle, how to sex, we look at the different types of hutches, different things that you might need, clippers, and how to check ears and all that kind of stuff. After lunch, which sounds a little harsh, but is the dispatch and skinning. And everyone does their own rabbit. A lot of people say it's like the boot camp for rabbits. So they see if it's something that they really could be interested in. And then day 2 is we break the rabbit into the 8 pieces. So you know how to, that's how we sell it. We sell a whole rabbit, but we sell it broken into the 8 pieces. We also find that it freezes better and that it stores easier, like they stack up in our freezer, which makes for easier, freezing and selling. And then after that, we have another lunch, and then we actually process the pelt. And so we show you the ways that have worked for us to tan our pelts. And so you leave the workshop with one completely processed rabbit that you did, a completely processed pelt, and then the knowledge to do it all on your own. And so I don't know if that's something you're interested in, but you can find more information on Maple Park Homestead. We also have a tiny house available. So if you wanted to travel and stay overnight, if you're the first one to book that, we could add that to the workshop fee. You might get a little extra time with myself and my husband, which I'll tell you that he's much more entertaining than I am. And Cindy and Ginger will both back me up on that. So that's it. I see a couple of good questions in here. Yes, any rabbit on your property you can eat it. What I would say is with all animals where you don't know where they come from, you want to cook it completely. And so rabbit is just like chicken. You want to cook it to 165. And that's the food science nerd in me. So you want to make sure that you cook it all the way. And that will kill any parasites. So that was cottontail. So with rabbits, what diseases or ailments do we have to be concerned about? So ear mites is one of the things that we have had a problem with. I think that has a lot more to do, I don't know, y'all from colder climates may have different. I think it has to do with the heat. Rabbits are born with a fur coat, and we live in the South where it's hot a lot. There's also something called sore hocks, which are sores on the bottom of the feet, which can be a problem especially if you have wire cages, or like I said, the white fur on the rabbits, the padding doesn't seem to be as thick for us. So the white rabbits tend to have a little more issues with that. Jenna said, you mentioned you breed August through April. Could you repeat that, please? Yes. So we breed August through April because of fly strike. And fly strike is when the flies lay their eggs in the umbilicus of the bunnies. And so as those eggs hatch and turn into maggots, they actually eat through the rabbit, the baby bunnies. And so we avoid that completely by not breeding in the summer. We also have heat stroke as a serious issue where we live. I know people who live in colder climates who breed year round. I know people who live down here and have them indoors in like climate control, and they breed year round. We just find it works out best. You also, I will tell you, you're going to get to a point where you have so many rabbits that you have to process, and then you're balancing like, where are we putting these rabbits? We don't have room in the freezer, or we have too many in the hutches. And so that's always going to be kind of an issue, or at least it has been for us. I don't think it's going to be an issue if you have 2 rabbits, but we right now have 22 rabbits in our rabbitry. Only 3 are retired. And so, I don't recommend keeping retired rabbits, but they're very special rabbits to my children. Stephanie asked, when building a rabbit hutch, is there a specific distance it should be from other animals, like a goat pen or chicken coop? I have seen people who do like rotational grazing and using the rabbits as one of the things. And I do know that rabbits can get other parasites and issues from other animals that are similar to them. So like rats, wild rabbits. So I would recommend you keep them separate from those. I have seen where people have chicken coops under the rabbits. So the rabbits poop, it falls down. They have their chicken coop and their run under their rabbits so that the chickens are like scratching out the poop. So there's all different kinds of setup. Tammy says, where am I located? I am located in Winder, which is in Barrow County, which is kind of halfway between Atlanta and Athens. I'm right off of 316, super easy to get to from any highway. Stephanie says she lives in Oklahoma. What's the best way to keep rabbits cool during the hot summer weather and warm during the winter? So we, if it gets really, I mean, it has to be super hot, okay? But we have frozen water bottles and put them in their cages, and they can lay on those and lay against those. We also have put fans out. The fans are more for keeping the flies away. But I know a lot of people do put big fans, especially if they have like a big rabbitry like under a garage, to keep the rabbits cool. We're also under a lot of shade trees, so that helps with ours. Now during the winter, they have fur coats. So it would have to be real cold. And I know it gets real cold in Oklahoma, but like it would have to get real cold for you to need to do much. I know that there are some people who will put heaters around, but again, then you're running into that heater and heat lamp issue, right? Like it could catch on fire. So I would ask people in your area. I'm sure that there is, if you go to a rabbit show, like, you know, how 4-H and FFA has different like showings. They have rabbit shows and they're really interesting, really cool. Those rabbits are really expensive, but they're really good to get some information and find out who's in your area, and they can help you with that. So Julie asked, is summer a sterile thing in meat rabbits? I have heard people say that their rabbits don't get pregnant. I have found there hasn't been very many seasons where ours have not gotten pregnant. We've had brother impregnate sister before we've been able to separate them. So I haven't had that issue. I know it's possible. I will say the one thing that we found to be specific about whether our females will get pregnant or not is if they're too fat. If they have too much weight on them, it can cause a lot of problems, one of which will be that they'll be completely sterile. That the bunnies just cannot grow because the fallopian tubes are wrapped in fat. And so we keep kind of a more slender rabbit. Like, I'm not saying we don't feed our rabbits, but you want to keep them on the thinner side. Same with our goats. We keep our goats on the thinner side because we've had issues when they've gotten too big. Yes. So somebody said that squirrels are not healthy to eat in warm months. I have never heard that about wild rabbits. Wild rabbits are hard to find in the warm months. They usually have their babies in the spring, and I find that they're just really hard to find in the summer. But anything that a squirrel could get, a rabbit could get too. But most rabbits and hutches don't have access to the same things that squirrels have access to. Okay, so what do I price my meat rabbits at? Okay, so it's a good question, Jerry. So we were trying to do by the pound, and what I found was people don't actually care, that they like a flat rate. And so we sell our meat rabbits for $30, processed into 8 pieces. And those range anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds. So it's approximately $10 a pound, $8 a pound, somewhere around there. And then we sell our live meat rabbits for breeding or for pets for $50 for one, or a breeding pair for $130, which is 2 does and 1 buck. And the reason I set my prices so high is because I do not want someone to buy a pet rabbit and think that when they're tired of it, that they're just going to let it out, or they're just going to give it to somebody or take it to a pound. And I always, if I sell a rabbit, I always let them know if for any reason something happens and it's not working out. We had one that when they got a male, and they loved this male, and he was really cute, and they let him like scamper all over the house, but he never had a female. And it got very aggressive. And so they returned him, and I did not give them their money back because they had him for like 2.5 years. But then I processed him because he was too aggressive. Like he just was not, I mean, he hit puberty and it was not good for him. So I think I've answered all the questions in the Q&A. Okay. Yes. So someone asked, can you explain the crossbreeding? So you can inline breed, which means that you can breed a sibling to a sibling or a parent to a sibling or a grandparent to a baby if they have no genetic deformities. Okay, so you would not want to, like, we one time had a rabbit that did not have an eye, like for whatever reason, when it was forming, it didn't have an eye. That one automatically would not be bred. If we had any that were not good, like the fur wasn't good, I would not breed that to another in that same litter. Now you can cross them. So like if you have had somebody come over today, they have a Flemish. They said it was a Flemish. It did not look like a Flemish at all, but they said it was a Flemish. And she was wondering if it could breed with one of my rabbits. Any of the meat size rabbits that are the bigger type rabbits can breed with any other type rabbit too, if you're not trying to show them, like if you're just trying to make meat. So I know a lot of people are like crazy about, oh, got to keep it all the same. You know, if you got a good mix and they make a lot of good babies and they're super healthy, it's fantastic. So you can do that too. You know, like I would not suggest getting random rabbits off the wall at like the farm store. Would not recommend that. You can get those and butcher them and eat them immediately. I found that when people are trying to get rid of rabbits, it's usually not for a good reason. Okay. So the 8 parts of a rabbit are very similar to a chicken. So you have your wings, you have your back legs, which you can break down into 2 separate pieces. You have the flaps, which are the 2 along the side, and then you have the rib cage, sometimes broken in half. All right. So somebody asked, what do you do with the byproducts after processing? We compost everything. I have had people contact me about possibly getting the ears for rabbit toys and rabbit treats. And so that's a possibility, but we keep the pelts, but all the innards go directly into the garden compost. You can also feed it if you have livestock like pigs. They can eat it as well. All right.
Thank you so much, Brooke. And I can tell you guys, like I said, from experience, her class, her intensive is amazing. It's worth every penny. I took it because when we are moving to our new property, that is one thing we are going to add to our homestead. And I was in the camp of, I don't want to bring something onto my homestead that I'm not going to be able to take care of myself from start to finish. So I needed to know, could I process a rabbit? And on that note, I want to say about Brooke and her husband, they treat their rabbits with so much respect all the way to the very last second. And this is not something that is trivial for them. The processing, it's almost like a ritual, and it is very reverent and very appreciative, and it's a moment of thanks to these animals that are going to be feeding them, and it's not trivial to them. They don't take it lightly, and it's a moment of respect and thanks from them and their family to these rabbits. So if you are considering rabbits and it's close enough even for you to come spend the weekend, I would highly, highly recommend it, because it's great information, it's hands-on, and you know what, if you can't process it, is it worth having on your homestead? Because the cost to have it processed is not, in my opinion, not worth. If you have to take it somewhere, a rabbit somewhere to be processed, it's not worth it. That's different for a pig or a cow, but not a rabbit. So anyway, all that being said, cannot recommend Brooke and her class highly enough. Thank you so much for being here. If you can jump over to the breakout rooms, I know people would love to talk to you in the breakout rooms if you have time. That would be great. And I'm going to put those I'm going to put that link in the chat in just a minute. But first, we have some very serious business to attend to. Brooke, I'm going to shoot you the breakout room. So if you want to go ahead and jump over there, you can. We have got to give some stuff away. Very serious stuff. Got to give it away. So VIPs. This is my first giveaway is going to be all VIPs. That's if you're a VIP member, whether you're on here or not. Of course, if you're not on here, you don't know, but my giveaway is, as always, is my magazine bundle, except this month it's going to be a Mother Earth News and an almanac. Why almanacs? Because I bought too many this year and I have a couple left to give away. So I think I'm reaching the end tonight. So I know you guys are tired of seeing almanacs, but
so, Miranda, I have you in Oklahoma.
oh,
Judy,
Brooke, you're not muted. Okay, there we go. So let me share my screen and go ahead and all attendees. Nope, not yet. All VIPs. Here's my all VIPs. This is all VIP members. If you are a VIP member, you are on this wheel. Good luck. Magazine bundle on one magazine and an almanac. Who is the winner going to be? Oh my goodness, we can't even get a sneak peek because there's so many people on this wheel. Rebecca. All right, Rebecca. And just because you don't have a chapter near you, that doesn't mean that you can't be a VIP member. Just like Rebecca, she doesn't have a chapter near her, so she doesn't, it says no local chapter. Then that's okay. You can still join us as a VIP member, or hey, you know what? You could start a chapter. That's always something you could do too. All right, so that's our all VIPs. Now, the next one I'm going to tell you about is the one that we're going to do next month, because you guys know I can't do the VIP attendees giveaway until next month, because I have to compare who attended. I have to run a report to see who attended, then run a report to see who's a VIP. Then I have to compare the two. But I am going to tell you what you are going to be in the running for. So if you are a VIP member, or if you join by midnight tonight, that will make you a VIP member. Because hey, this may be the first time you've ever heard of us, so you didn't have a chance to become a VIP member before. I'll give you to midnight tonight to join us. So this is what we're going to give away at 7:55 tomorrow. I've got 2 more packs of these great plant markers. Again, silver Sharpie, no other color will do. Every other color will fade. I've got another Harris Almanac. I've got a pair of, look, woo, it's a pair of, you can't even see. They're gardening gloves. They're green gardening gloves. Sorry, that's what they are. You can't see them because they're green and I have a green screen. And then a cute little, whatever this thing is, and a spade. I don't know. It's a little gardening bundle. You've got ghost gloves, which they match the handles. Obviously, you can see that there. You'll get your almanac and your 2 packs of things. All right, so that's the VIP. We'll give that away at 7:55 at the beginning of next month's gathering. All right. And so then for all attendees, all right, so if you attended tonight, you are on this list. That's what I was doing while you guys were paying attention. I was writing down names. And what am I giving away? Another magazine and a Clyde's Garden Planner. Clyde's Garden Planner and a magazine. All right, here we go. Here we go. All VIPs. Excuse me, all attendees. Jerry Ford. All right, Jerry. Okay, so now let's talk about breakout rooms. So I'm just checking on the chats here to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, good. Becca's joining Northwest Georgia. That's awesome. I am so glad that Becca is going to have a chapter. So don't forget to go in and update your profile. And if you guys change anything, you need to go in and update your profile, because if we mail stuff or email stuff or whatever, you may not get it if you haven't updated your profile on your account, on your NLHG account. So make sure you do that so you get the right stuff. Okay. So we're going to go to breakout rooms now. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. This has been great. Brooke, thank you so much. This information has been awesome. I'm getting ready to throw the link in the chat. If you haven't, if you're not going to the breakout rooms, I'm going to put the link to register for next month in the chat in just a minute. So hang out for that if you're not going to the breakout rooms. If you're going to the breakout rooms, I'll throw that in just a second. Thanks. Have a great night. Okay, so had to do a hard break there so that we can get a good stop. This in the chat is your breakout room link. So if you click on that, ooh, sorry, itchy nose, that will take you to the breakout rooms. So go on over there. If you go to the breakout rooms, I'll bring you your link to sign up for next month over there. You guys know that. So go on over there if you're going. Hang out for 2 minutes. If you're not going to the breakout rooms, hang out for 2 minutes. The links look a lot alike, so I like to let everybody start heading to the breakout rooms if they're going, so there's not confusion on that. So everybody seems to be jumping out to the breakout rooms. If you guys have any problems with that, go ahead and okay, Shannon, I see. Shannon, if you'll send an email to media@nlhg.org, if you're still here, let me see if you're still here. You're not still here. I'll get you in the breakout rooms. All right, everybody. So hop on over to the breakout rooms. Got just another minute or so. And then I'm going to put the registration link for next month for those of you not going to the breakout rooms. All right. Breakout room link is in the chat. I'm gonna go grab the sign up link. Oh, I didn't tell you what the topic was, did I? I guess it'll be a mystery. Just kidding. The topic for next month is going to be herbal remedies. Herbal remedies. We've got a great speaker. Good stuff to give away. All right. So is anybody having trouble? You can put your hand up if you're having trouble getting to the breakout rooms. If not, I'm going to drop that link into the. All right. So here's the link to sign up for next month. For those of you not going to the breakout rooms, go ahead and sign up for next month if you want to, or head on over to the breakout rooms. If you've having trouble, put your hand up and I can give you permission to talk. All right, let's see. Bonnie, Carla, Christine, Juanita, Lika, Megan, Tanya, Yolanda. You guys having trouble, or is there something I can help with? What do we got going on? Thanks, Megan. Have a good night. Oh, I hear you, Yolanda. I hear you. Perfect, Carla. We can't wait to see you next time. Good deal. Thanks, Bonnie. All right, you guys, if you have a question, go ahead and let me know. If not, I'm going to go ahead and end this so I can jump over to the breakout room. The breakout rooms, let me grab the link for you. I'll paste it again. All right. All right, Yolanda, this is the breakout room link there. Just click on that. It should take you right over. All right, Juanita and Tanya, either of y'all have any questions or issues I can help you with? If not, if I don't hear from you in the next minute, I'm going to head on over to the breakout rooms. All right, guys. Have a good night. We'll see you next time.